The expanse of African swamps and quiet, reed-covered backwaters shimmer in the soft morning light. At first glance, it seems that there is only a shaky marsh mirror and tropical vegetation around. Meet the marabou, also known as shoebill or whalebill, one of the most amazing and mysterious birds of the African swamps. The voiceover enhances the sense of majesty and surrealism. It seems that this bird has come from the pages of some prehistoric history. However, it is very real and hides many secrets. Why is its beak so massive? How does it manage to stand still for an hour while tracking its prey? And why do locals sometimes consider it a sacred sign? Stay with us to plunge into the world of the acorn marabou. It is said that a meeting with this bird can speed up the heart of an experienced naturalist. Find out why soon. In the traditional beliefs of several African tribes, there are legends about a bird with a whale's head, or a shaman bird, that showed fishermen where to fish. Some people claim that the marabou acorn bird was a harbinger of rain. As soon as it appeared near a settlement, storm clouds would soon be coming. Ornithological researchers began recording these legends in the 20th century, trying to separate mystical speculation from fact. However, the very appearance of the whalehead often caused the first Europeans a real shock. The massive shoe-like beak, sluggish manner of movement, and absent expression of the eyes gave the impression that the bird was the embodiment of the prehistoric era, something from the dinosaur era. The marabou, Balaeniceps rex, is a large wading bird of the whale-headed family, Balaenicipitidae. Its height can reach 110-140 centimeters, 3.6, 4.6 ft, and its wingspan often exceeds 2 m 6.6 ft. Weight can range from 4 to 7 kg, 8.8, 15.4 lb. The most striking feature is the beak, which is about 20-24 centimeters, 8-9.5 in long, and up to 10 centimeters, 4 in wide. Its shape really resembles a wooden shoe or block, with a sharp hook at the end, which serves to hold slippery prey. The plumage of adult birds is bluish-gray, sometimes with a slight greenish sheen, and the eyes have a piercing, slightly eerie shine. These giants live mainly in the tropical wetlands of Sudan, South Sudan, Uganda, Tanzania, etc. The acorn marabou often appears inert, like a statue. It can stand motionless for hours among the reeds or on a bump, its huge beak thrust forward. This law of immobility is a key tactic. The bird waits until an unwary fish, most often a multi-perch tilapia or eel, or other small marsh inhabitants swim within range. Then the whale lunges, using its powerful legs and massive beak to catch its prey. A sharp hook on the tip of its beak helps to hold on to a slippery fish or water snake. Despite their solitary nature, these birds can sometimes form pairs during the mating season. They build a large nest of reeds and aquatic plants, often in isolated areas of the marsh where predators, crocodiles or humans, cannot easily reach. The female usually lays 1 to 3 eggs, but usually raises 1 or 2 chicks. It is interesting that sometimes marabou storks show atypical for storks' patience with their offspring, patiently waiting until they learn to properly aim with their beak. If there is not enough food, parents may reject the weaker chick, choosing to keep the strongest one. In an area with a high density of fish, several beaked whales may stay close together, but there is little aggression between them. The law of tolerance is obvious here. Each bird tries to defend its prey without getting into fights, most likely because of the vast expanse of marshes and the abundance of fish food. The most impressive thing about the beak of the whale is that it consists of light but strong bone plates that form a block shape, sometimes with a slightly worn speckled texture. At the base of the beak, there are special pads that reduce the load when the bird hits the water with its beak or grabs a large fish. The tip of the beak looks like a sharp hook and helps to tear the prey apart if it is too large to swallow. The legs are strong with webbed toes, which are not as developed as those of ducks, but allow them to move confidently through the marsh without falling. When flying, the acorn marabou spreads its long wings, and those who have seen this sight say that it resembles a silent shadow from the prehistoric world. Although the acorn marabou has a menacing appearance, its temperament is rather calm and aloof. It does not prey on large mammals or humans and usually does not react aggressively unless provoked. However, because of its huge beak and strong legs, the bird can cause serious injuries if it feels threatened, especially when it comes to nesting territory. Therefore, researchers or tourists who want to take a spectacular photo are advised to keep a distance. In some places in Africa, there is a whale watcher's etiquette. Do not approach closer than 20 to 30 meters, 66-98 ft. do not make sudden movements, and do not make noise. Ornithologists who have studied the marshes of South Sudan tell of cases where the whale birds spent 2 to 3 hours in a row waiting for prey, barely moving their paws or wings. One of the researchers recalled how the bird showed interest in his camouflage shelter, but having assessed that it was not edible, simply returned to its occupation, waiting for fish. In another case, a group of ecotourists in Tanzania found 3 marabou acorn monkeys on a small island in the middle of the swamps. Such a large number at once is a rare sight, and all 3 birds seem to live in parallel without showing aggression. These stories fuel the image of the phlegmatic observer of the marshes. There is a theory that the minke whale can make low gurgling sounds similar to mumbling when it encounters another individual. Although this is not easy to observe, the birds are generally silent. Marabou shrews play a significant role in the wetland environment. By consuming large numbers of fish, they can reduce excessive pressure on certain species, and the remains of their prey often become food for smaller scavengers or microorganisms. At the same time, they mark certain areas where conditions are favorable enough for large fish. However, the bird's range is shrinking due to the drainage of marshes and agricultural development, and the threat of poaching is increasing, although sometimes they are killed because of their unusual beak or feathers. In some regions, the decline in fish stocks is leading to the displacement of whalers to more remote and undeveloped areas. IUCN considers the minke whale a vulnerable species. Protecting its habitats is one of the key conservation challenges in African wetland ecosystems. The whale-headed or marabou acorn bird is a bird that seems to have come to us from prehistoric times. Slow-moving with a massive shoe-like beak. Local tribes often treat it with respect and even see it as a symbol of patience and wisdom. After all, isn't it symbolic to stand patiently until the coveted prey appears? For many ornithologists, a meeting with this giant becomes the pinnacle of field research, and for ecotourists, an unforgettable episode of their journey. If you were fascinated by the story of the bird with the head of a whale, leave your thoughts in the comments and subscribe to hear more stories about the most amazing creatures of our planet.